Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 61. Please subscribe. This is very significant. We have completed our first review, part 1 of the workbook. We are starting new lessons today. This happens to be a favorite lesson. It also happens to be the first of the 7 giant stride lessons that we will have in part 1 of the workbook. A giant stride lesson being because it's taking us forward and helping us to understand our rightful place, it says, in salvation, in the freedom of this world. This lesson also says it's merely stating a fact, and we'll have many lessons that tell us this lesson, it's merely stating a fact. This lesson is also going to be speaking to us about our function, that our function is to be the light of the world. I'm going to bring in, I did this last year. This is the 5th year. I brought in some of the first 50 lessons into our newer lessons and see how they weave together, and because they do. The first 50 lessons were truly our foundation. Now, as we expand on it and we add to it, we can still see the precursors of these lessons and that these are expansions of other lessons. This lesson begins to say, who is the light of the world except God's child? In the text, in chapter 13, there's a line that says, God's guiltless Son is the only light. It also has a line in there that, child of light, you know not that the light is in you. The text and the workbook blend in together. I started with the workbook, but if you've been doing the workbook for a while, perhaps it's now time to start delving into the text and read that, and you will see how one supports the other. So in paragraph 1 of today's lesson, it says, it does not refer to any of the characteristics with which you have endowed your idols. It refers to you as you were created by God. This being the light of the world isn't anything that was made up by the ego. Those are our idols. Those are our temptations. But it refers to us as we were created by God. It simply states the truth. In lesson 44, we had creation and darkness cannot coexist, but light and life must go together, being but different aspects of creation. As God's child, we are one of the aspects of creation, and God is the light in which you see, and you are attempting to reach Him. We are attempting to understand that indeed the light is within. It is not out there. We carry the light. We are the bringers of light. The lesson for today, it goes on and tells us, this is not us being a statement of pride. This is not arrogance. This is merely accepting what God would have us do. It says true humility requires that you accept today's idea because it is God's voice which tells you it is true. This is the beginning step in accepting your real function on earth. And again, we're going to have many lessons expanding the idea of what our function is. Salvation is one, and we'll get to there later, just not today. A giant stride toward taking your rightful place in salvation. It is a positive assertion of your right to be saved and an acknowledgement of the power that is given you to save others. Also, we will see this reappear in a lesson not too long from now. The practicing for today is to think about this as often as possible, as many practice periods as possible. There will, of course, be in the morning when we first wake up and before we go to bed at night to have a little bit of a longer practice, but during the course of the day to remind yourself, I am the light of the world. That is my only function. That is why I am here. We're going to be expanding now to understand we have a function. There is a reason why we are here. There is a reason that we indeed are bringers of light. It is a purpose, it's a function, it's been assigned to us by the one who knows, by our Father. We are to be the bringers of freedom, salvation. This is one of the aspects that will help everyone to get there. It says today's idea goes far beyond the ego's petty views of what you are and what your purpose is. As a bringer of salvation, a bringer of light, a bringer of freedom, this is obviously necessary. This is the first of a number of giant strides that we will take in the next few weeks. Try today to begin to build a firm foundation for these advances. These are big advances. You are the light of the world. God has built his plan for the salvation of his Son on you. Child of light. Say that to yourself. Child of light. You know not that the light is in you. But today we will do our best to bring that light and to be that light and to shine that light. And then, of course, to extend that light, because that is when we will know, that's when we will know that indeed this is who we are. This is also an I am lesson. I didn't mention that. And we know the power of the I am. I am the light of the world. Tell yourself often today that indeed that is who you are. And just for a side note, if you want to celebrate this idea, someone in the comments from last year, after they did this lesson, the YouTube had up next, and it was Bruce Springsteen singing This Little Light of Mine. And yes, it's beautiful. It's a great celebration, and you can dance to that. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. But maybe now it's going to be this big light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. So we're reaching the light today together. I hope this helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, and smile. Smile because you are the light of the world, and breathe that in and release everything that is not of the light. And pray that this knowledge comes to each and every mind as quickly as possible. You are the light of the world. Namaste.